Welcome back once again to Winds of Fortune. I'm R, your dungeon master for this evening. Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let the adventure begin. We catch up with our party as they depart from the small town of Hindwick in the foothills of the Shaste. After the succubus Adira turned up unexpectedly, demanding Mays fulfill their part of the deal that they'd made 6 months earlier, tensions began to rise around the mercenary fortress of Arx Volatus as drinks flowed and secrets were revealed. After encouraging Armiger Peshek to commune with Meglubiot, the answers clearly were not what the cleric was anticipating. It ended the evening sending everyone back to their rooms, but not before Pandora attempted to sneak out again, and Icarus confronted her for her increasingly volatile behaviour. However, the following day saw the three of them and Damen teleported to Hindwick, seeking a ring bearing the emblem of a black sun that supposedly granted desires after a series of trials, and only called to those who were not kind of heart. Tensions continued to worsen, but all had to be set aside as they found themselves on a trail of destruction. A temple to Pelor desecrated, the dead raised, and a town hiding in fear, their water supply poisoned and their food spoiled. Behind the awful events was a young man, trapped in a vicious cycle of violence by the very ring Adira had sent them to find. Despite his aggression, the party were able to subdue him, and Pandora removed the cursed ring, only to find it calling to her to hide it. She was able to resist, but shaken as she was, refused comfort from Damen, which led him to an angry outburst, and saw him separating from the group.
Damen has left the party!
You do this.
Party. You watch the township of Hindwick disappear behind you. Damen left standing in your dust in the field, as your griffins take flight back home.
God, I hate this.
Maze and Icarus ride one, Pandora the other, as you soar up into the blue skies and back towards the Shaste. You have a long flight ahead of you, at least one night's rest somewhere along the way. Is there anything that you're doing?
Pointedly, with my eyes on the horizon, just flying, Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
It's mad orcs back here.
There are orcs here.
It's mad orcs
They're
back
angry.
here.
How did the orcs get here?
Yeah, I think it's just awkward silence all around while we fly.
Yo.
Okay.
Oh god.
The three of you on two griffins fly onwards then for several hours until it gets too dark and you're forced to try and find somewhere to camp. As you do, you fly down towards the forest beneath you. Somebody roll me a survival check, searching for a campsite.
For +5.
It's true.
Yeah, you do it.
Go for it.
Go for it, Mr. Survival. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20, okay.
You have to see it.
You fly over the trees for a while, seeing some small rough spaces. To the west of you, an open field, but you're determined not to stop until you find somewhere suitable. And eventually, you find another small clearing with a craggy overhang, and in it, you spot a cave. There's enough space to bring the griffins down outside of it, and you sort of take a look around, get a light up, and find it uninhabited and clean, with a stream running nearby, completely sheltered from the elements. Remnants of a fire sits here from previous campers, and you can see small messages of good tiding and luck carved into the cave walls.
Cute.
Very cute.
That's as good a place as any.
Yeah, I think this is maybe like the best place we could have found.
Great. Well, if you want to stay here and set up a fire, you can go get some food, or you can just eat some of the rations.
I'll get stuff set up, and if you want to hunt, you can hunt.
Sure. I'll go off to the river.
Okay. Say make a perception check.
Searching for fishies.
I will have a fishy on a little dishy. That's a 16, please.
That's 16. Okay. And so you scout up and down the stream until you find a slightly deeper part, and you see a number of like decently sized catfish.
Chongy. Hell yeah. I'm gonna hunt me some catfish.
Are you going to try and catch them, or are you just going to tell them to jump into your hands again?
Probably that one for ease of access.
Okay.
Hello, fishy, get in my mouth.
I'm going to pet you. Here, come, scritch, scritch.
You use your Triton abilities to just lean down and tell the fish to swim into your hands, and before long you have 3 large catfish.
I'm sorry about this. Just, you know how it is.
They don't.
Club, club.
Hit them over the head and then just come back. And just come back and start pairing them.
Icarus comes back looking a little bit ashamed of himself and just starts preparing these 3 large catfish for dinner. May, as I say, without making you roll a check, you managed to put a decent fire together right in the fire pit that was left before.
Oh yeah.
Pandora, are you doing anything?
Very sort of absently making an alarm around their little camp. It's like a little sort of scorch mark in the earth, and then it disappears into nothing, but we have an alarm around us now.
Nice. As you do, and you sort of finish up with the alarm, and you come to settle back down by the fire, maybe a perception check.
11.
Okay. So don't do anything else.
I mean, I'm ready to eat this catfish.
Yeah, I'll be like frying the catfish over the food, or what is just cooking it.
Yeah.
Cooking it nice. Making sure there's no bones, no choking hazards.
And the Lord in Pandora's portion choke.
Yeah.
No, even Pandora's is nicely done. Nicely cooked.
Conversation continues to not flow as you prepare a meal of some of your rations and fresh fish and serve it up. And the 3 of you found yourselves sat in this cave in the dark with the firelight illuminating your faces with your dinner in silence.
It's good fish.
Catfish.
It's real tasty. So it's been a long day.
I don't mind taking first watch if you guys want to get some rest.
That's not what I meant. Are we all just gonna sit around and not talk to each other? Is that what this is?
No, we can talk about things. What you have to talk about? I mean, that was a lot back there, huh? That poor kid.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Hopefully that town will be able to build itself back up.
Hopefully Adira won't want this once she knows what it does. And we can make sure it gets hidden or destroyed.
Maybe they can put it in the archives back at Arx Volatus.
Under heavy lock and key.
Yeah. And something tells me that ring can't get destroyed. And if it can, then it'll be a lot to do it.
Scary.
Still, it's in the right hands now.
I guess. Feels weird. Have something so powerful just in my pocket.
As they speak, Pandora, you just find yourself just reaching into your own pockets and your fingers brush against something cold.
She'll turn herself away a little bit. Pull that out.
You find a small flat piece of metal, sort of the size of a coin, and it has the sigil of House Peshek on it. Gives off a slight arcane hum.
And I, like, I haven't had this before, like, this isn't something that...
You hadn't seen this before, no?
Can I sort of get a bead on it?
I'd say, yeah, you know it's arcane.
Mm-hmm.
Won't make you roll an arcana check on it. Do you want to sort of spend an hour working out what it is, or...?
Gonna slip it back in my pocket.
Hmm.
I'll be back in a minute, I'll be back. Then gets up and heads out as if to go to the bathroom or something.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna get a good sort of distance away and cast Sending
Okay.
to Peshek.
Sure.
Lord Peshek, it's Pandora. I found something of yours in my pocket. Do you know anything about it?
It's not long before you get a response back. Pandora, good to hear from you. Not mine, yours. Something for protection.
Protection against what?
You'll figure it out. Stay safe.
Oh. Okay. When did you reverse pickpocket me, you son of a bitch? Yeah, then I'll wait an appropriate amount of time and then come back and get out some books and look like I'm busying myself with those, but be identifying said coin.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say this doesn't seem like unusual behaviour for Pandora, and she hasn't been talking to you anyway, so the two of you probably just let it happen and talk to one another. It identifies to you as Peshek's Blessing, a custom ward, which when carrying it on your person you get a +10 bonus against rolls that would possess or charm you.
Oh my god! Dude. She, having figured out what it is and what it does, just gets a bit choked up. And tries to continue to look busy throughout the night, but is just... she's struggling.
You two do anything else for the scene?
While Pandora's busy with books and stuff, may as well signal to Icarus if like he wants to shuffle a bit further so they're like out of earshot.
Icarus will shuffle.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm not gonna pretend like I haven't noticed anything between the two of you today. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But if you do, I'm here.
It's not me that somebody needs to be there for.
I've already spoken to Pandora.
It's more than I could get.
But I don't really know what to do about it.
Me neither.
And it feels kind of awkward. For every awful thing that's happened today, I feel kind of good.
Well, you're allowed to. We helped people.
Yeah, we did.
No matter what else is going on, or what personal things might be happening for people we helped a town, and then it's good. You're allowed to feel good about that.
Icarus, how did you... What did it feel like when you became a cleric to court?
Felt like going home, if that makes any sense. Like a sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
a sense of being welcome and protected, safe.
I'm just confused and excited. Every time I pray after something like this happens, I get some sort of feeling or a sign, and I don't know what that means for me yet. I don't know what's wanted or expected of me. Really unpleasant. I know who I can really ask.
I say that if you are getting signs or feelings every time you're praying, that you're already doing what is asked.
But I feel like I could do more. You made food and water for a town of people who had nothing. And I can't do anything like that. I can't even cast basic spells. And I feel like if I could, maybe I could do more.
You want to learn how to cast spells? I mean, your abilities and your skills as they are, they're helpful in their own way too. Like, you don't have to do magic to do good in the world.
It's something to think about.
For sure, but if you ever want to, let me know. I can help out.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
No worries. I'll take first watch.
Sure thing.
The evening sort of winds down with little conversation to be had anyway. You lay out your bedrolls, and Icarus, you position yourself at the front of the cave to take first watch, as the other two lay down to sleep. Maybe a perception check.
Oh boy! Oh boy! I'm not good at them, Chief. 12.
12. Yeah. You stare on out of the cave mouth for a while. You find yourself quite drowsy. It's been a long day. It was already late when you got here and you stayed up a few more hours. But it's peaceful and quiet. There's a buzz of sort of small insects in the air. They're sort of they're drawn in towards the cave mouth because of the embers of the fire. You look around the cave, feeling like there's probably nothing to worry about in this location anyway. You just see a really small moth fly towards the fire into the heat haze.
Oh no. That's a really small moth.
And into Maze's mouth while they sleep.
Oh, I should have done something.
A vicious attack occurred here.
It is too late now. Protein.
Fish go to your mouth, moths go to Maze's mouth.
And then there's Spider's Pandora.
And sort of as that happens, you realise it's almost the end of your watch. Who are you waking up?
I'm gonna crawl very gently towards me. Look in their mouth. Is it gone? Is it gone? Is the mouth? 14.
What do you? Oh, you can just sort of see it stuck to that tongue.
F is for friends who do stuff together. Sleight of hand, or
Would it be a sleight of hand check to get this moth out?
Yes, it would.
I would like to. Amazing. Sleep.
With my passive perception of 18.
That doesn't count when you're sleeping.
Dang it!
I'm going to reach in and pluck this moth out.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check.
oh my god.
Welcome back to Delphos. Oh god. 6.
6. Okay. Not. You wait for Maze to sort of roll over, their mouth open a bit wider, and you reach in. You grab the moth, but not only does it startle Maze awake for you to do this, but one of the wings just comes off.
Dude, there was a moth in your mouth. You ate it.
And you thought you'd just pull it out?
Yeah, because if I woke you, you would just swallow.
I would have preferred to have swallowed it than wake up like this.
I'm sorry. I'm not thinking straight, I'm kind of tired.
Good night, Icarus.
Do you want the rest of it?
You keep it.
Okay. I'm not eating it though.
Just put it in the fire.
Maze. Icarus goes and lays down, looking slightly bewildered.
That was so much.
I'm slightly bewildered.
You sit down, make a perception check for the night.
20.
Nice. Catch a moth in midair.
Put it in Icarus's mouth.
The rest of the evening passes by. You see a few small animals, like prey animals, like sort of maybe a rabbit or two crossing the field outside the cave in the night, but nothing else happens. And you keep a sort of wary eye
More
back in the
moths.
cave, but no more bugs fly into animal mouths. And the morning rolls around, everybody getting a very restful sleep. In the morning, everybody sort of gets up, gets some breakfast going. Despite a good sleep, the tensions still simmer as soon as Icarus and Pandora are both awake.
I'm going outside to greet the sun, just so I don't have to deal with that for a hot sec. Going back inside, having some fancy toast.
So toast.
Toast.
Just toast.
It's fancy toast. We're in a fancy world. Come on.
Are either of you two doing anything in the morning?
Trying to busy herself with anything to look busy.
Okay. So the tension remains,
Yeah.
and the silence continues.
Groom the griffin.
And before long, you're back on the griffins and taking flight again. This is one of the more distant places you've flown alone out of Arx Volatus, and considering you teleported there, somebody make me a survival check to get a bearing on the land, or a navigation check.
You.
Do I get to add my proficiency if it's a navigation check?
Yes.
Hell yeah!
So that would be intelligence plus... No, wisdom.
So it's my survivals, which is
survival
plus,
plus your proficiency.
which is +5, and then proficiency is +3.
Nice.
Plus 8.
Yeah. 18.
18. Okay. You, for the first part of the day, managed to get a pretty good bearing on where you're heading. Flying back over the treetops, keeping sort of an eye on the edge of the chase to make sure you get your bearings properly. From way up here in the sky, you've just got like an unfiltered view all the way across the western marches. In fact, it's such a clear day today that you're pretty sure you can see a smudge on the distant horizon that might be Erin.
Oh.
And beyond that, the ocean.
Sits in those fields for a while.
Whose bird are you on today?
I'll be on Pandora's bird to show that I don't play favourites.
You fly on through the day, Icarus taking the lead and navigating back towards Arx Volatus. And you fly over fields. You see a herd of deer underneath you, running across the grasslands. You start to swoop and fly over the water, and you swear you see some sort of large fish or water mammals moving through the waters of the chase. And you realise the sun is starting to go down again, and you're moving out to camp a second time.
Damn.
You can't be that far off Arx Volatus, you're sure of it, but unless you want to fly through the night.
So I will circle Apollo around and come up next to Hermes
Mhm.
and just. Sun's going down. We might have to camp again, unless you want to go through the night.
How far?
Can I have like an estimate from what I know and maps that I've studied and.
Make another navigation check.
Great. 22.
22. Okay. You reckon it's probably that the griffins will have to rest at some point, which they can stay in the air, but they'd probably have to slow down. So if you fly through the night, you reckon maybe 10 hours of flying.
Okay. If we keep flying through the night, then 10 hours.
Oh, let's stop.
Yeah. The griffins need a rest. I'll see what I can see for camping.
She tries not to show it on her face, but Pandora clearly wants to be back and wants this awkward tension to disperse and people to go their own separate ways. But she will land the griffin.
Okay. In which case, if you're scouting for a camp, make me another survival check.
Hell
20,
yeah.
25.
Okay.
The best camp you ever did have.
Yeah.
Clamping, let's go.
I mean, you fly down and you're over forest again now as you're sort of moving away from the water of the chase and like ducking between some of the smaller mountain peaks. And you see what must be the ruins of an old building.
Huh.
Looks like it's perfectly sheltered in the shadow of one of the mountains. Small clearing around it. Yeah, you can bring the griffins down there.
Yeah. And set up. Like do a little scout around the area, make sure it's safe.
I'd say you have found the perfect camp location again.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Good.
As you land the griffins down, you start to realise that what you're looking at must be the ruins of like a very, very old temple. Perhaps not prehistory, but
Old.
one that was possibly abandoned before the War of the Three Crowns.
Is there any like iconography on it to show who it was to?
Make an investigation check.
Investigate.
I will. 10. I'm rolling so bad. She's not on it.
You walk around it and you do see some vague sort of carvings and stuff in the stone, but it's so worn away that you're not really sure about it or bothered enough to look harder.
Disassociates.
Yeah. Icarus will have a wander around and get a vibe of the place. Just say a quick prayer to Pelor. Not to Pelor, that's yours.
Wow.
Wow.
Say a quick prayer to Cord.
Okay.
And see if I can spot anything interesting in the area.
Make me a perception check.
I cannot. 6.
Not anything of particular interest. It's not dark yet. You've landed far earlier than you did last night, but you find that it's sort of like a clearing with these temple ruins in it, now considerably overgrown over time, and then just like a blanket of evergreen forest ahead of you.
And this temple's been here a while.
Yeah, it looks pretty old.
Yeah. All the carvings look like they've worn away though, so
Hard to tell who it's for.
should be safe.
Shame.
So I got some of that fish, so
More catfish. Cool.
yeah, might as well.
It's better than rations. I'll start another fire.
Great, thanks.
Pandora will do another alarm for them.
Okay. Are you going to camp in the temple? Outside of the temple?
In.
Okay.
When you say it's like ruins, is it one of those where it's just sort of walls with no roof, or?
Yeah, I'd say there's like vague semblance of a roof in patches in some places, but for the most part it's kind of like the 4 outer walls crumbling in places.
It's better for wind resistance though, at least.
Yeah. You move inside, you notice like the moss that's crept in from outside the temple and sort of spread through the cracks in the flagstone. Quite a lot of like old wooden pews and the sort of thing that could be broken up into firewood if you want to.
Let's get wood from outside. Yeah. I don't feel too great about using it.
No, bad.
Make sure that the birds are looked after.
The birds. Griffiny birds.
Are you both going to get wood?
Sure.
Yeah.
Pandora will do her alarm in their little camping spot, and we'll dial it back a bit and try casting a few cantrips, like 2 different ones at the same time, seeing if that does anything, just while they're gone.
Okay. So you two sort of walk off out into the clearing towards the trees to gather up sort of fallen branches and the like. What 2 cantrips are you trying?
Ray of Frost and Firebolt. Ray of Fire or Fire Frost or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, first of all, roll me an Arcana check.
14.
14, okay. Now roll me a percentile.
Oh, come on. 33.
33, okay.
Not great, Bob.
You sort of prepare the right movements and the right components for both cantrips at the same time. They're so, like, you know them so well that you can try it a few times, and you feel like something's starting to take, and you feel these 2 spells melding together, and like this burst of like cold and heat coming forward at the same time just sort of sparks out of your hand. You think maybe if you had the space to fully just go for it, but the fact that you're trying to hide it from these 2, you think you're that close.
Yeah, she'll just sit with that.
Okay.
We got wood.
You come back with sort of big piles of firewood to keep it going through the night. And come back in, and by this point Pandora sat down with a book. It looks like nothing's happened at all.
Great. Just walking in then, like, listen, I know that this is an old place. I know that no one's using these pews anymore, but it just feels weird.
No, it doesn't feel right.
No.
No, I get you.
That's probably too much, I know, but still.
Someone will come and sit on these someday.
I mean, it won't be comfortable, but...
Looking at them, they do look like they're about to rot and fall to pieces.
It just feels weird to use them. So we'll build the fire up.
Okay. You get the fire started. You find your conversation just kind of crumples the second you re-enter Pandora's range.
Area of effect,
Yeah.
Pandora.
Aura of grumpiness.
Yep.
No, talk me angry.
You taught me Anki.
But once again, in uncomfortable quiet, you can get dinner done. Pandora sits with a book up. Pays you no mind.
Probably reads the same sentence like 5 times over.
Great. I can go over some basic, like, oh, this is how it feels when I cast through my holy weapon.
Spider-Man meme.
Yes.
Miles Morales, is that you?
Yeah, it shows you my symbol of cord. And I got it when I first signed up. When I first joined the Temple of Cord.
I mean, that's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Sign up
Your
for
name on
board.
the list. Get your cleric powers.
Pay your registration fee.
Cleric license.
Okay, and the evening continues through again. Who's taking watch?
Oh, do you want to? Are you going to offer?
Like, she's sort of non-committally. I'll watch tonight.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the 2 of you settle down. Pandora, you take your watch.
Wow, man. 6.
Okay.
A moth flies into your mouth and you don't even notice it.
Here was me thinking it was just Sariel's dice the cursed, but no, it's just me.
Okay. You stare out of the sort of crumbling entranceway to this old temple into the woods, not really concentrating on anything. Just staring. You think you hear something cracking outside, like the crunch of dry leaves and sticks breaking underfoot.
Stand up.
Continues. Seems to be in the tree line. Good sort of 50 feet from you, but
I will step out of the little camp area and try and see if I can see it. Like looking through like gaps in the walls or any windows that there are, or
Make another perception check.
please. 16.
16. You see a slight glow coming from in the trees.
What kind of glow? Like a radiant glow, like a fire glow, like a
I'd say like a radiant glow.
how far away from the entrance?
So, I'd say probably a good 80 feet from the entrance, dim in the forest.
She will cast mage armor.
Okay.
No trust.
No trust.
No. Okay. And she will have her crystal ready with her,
Mm-hmm.
and her sea blade like in the other hand, like just holding it in the sheath. No trust.
Okay. Are you moving closer?
Yeah, quietly.
You creep out of the temple. Make a stealth check.
Oh god. 12.
12. Okay. Where they're sort of tied up just outside the temple, you hear the griffins just sort of like huffing and kicking the ground a little bit. And you hear more crack, crack, as something moves through the forest. And then stops as you move forwards, and silence falls.
I'll move to the griffins and try and quiet them.
Yeah.
And then try and get closer. Trying to be like hidden as much as possible.
Maybe another stealth check and then another perception check.
Oh god. Right, stealth. 15.
Okay.
Perception. 9.
9.
God, she's crap.
Okay. You move into the tree line, sort of glancing back once at the temple behind you as the embers from your fire start to dim down.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look around yourself. For a moment, you think you've lost it. The glow. And then you hear the sound of a horse, like braying. And then you just catch it distantly through the trees. The shape of a white horse. Tail flicking around. Dim glow coming off it. A long spiral horn at the front of its head. It's distant now and it seems to be moving away.
She's like dumbstruck. Like didn't think she'd ever see one of these. Wait.
You call out even quietly and it just stops and sort of turns to look at you through the tree line.
She's just in awe of this thing. Hello. Just try and sort of slowly get closer and reach your hand out.
It doesn't move, it lets you get closer, it's still quite a long way off. But it doesn't seem to be running.
You're very beautiful. Don't keep trying to get closer to it.
Yeah. It turns. Just starts walking sort of closer towards you as well. But as you get too close, it sort of like trots backwards a little.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Lets out a sort of like
I'm gonna hurt you.
make an animal handling check.
Oh god. $19.
19. It lets you get right up close. You see this pearlescent shimmer over this twisted horn on its head. Sort of seems to, in its own glow, catch the light in an iridescent rainbow kind of fashion across its white coat.
Never seen something as beautiful as you.
As you speak, it seems to bow its head along.
Stroke its muzzle. Do you live here? Or do you come and go? Probably should have just asked one question, huh?
And with that, it just turns and starts plodding off.
Should watch it go. Well, be safe.
Before long, the light just seems to dim and extinguish out of your view, and you're just left standing in the dark forest.
She look around herself. It feels so much darker now that it's gone. She'll again take a look around to make sure that there's nothing else that could be dangerous coming anywhere near them, and then head back.
Make one last perception check.
60.
Okay. You look around, you're pretty confident that there's, after that, nothing nefarious in the area.
Cool. She will dazedly make her way back.
You stumble back into the temple, sort of in awe and shock. Who are you waking?
Maze.
Yeah.
I'm the go-between.
Yeah. Shake Maze.
Yeah. Hi.
Sorry.
My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Good night. Sleep well.
Good night. Till then in.
None the wiser, Maze. Make a perception check.
20.
Hell yeah.
You see nothing else of interest outside the camp through the night.
Oh no.
Inside the camp.
There's a moth.
As you're just sitting there, sort of flicking small pebbles across the temple floor, killing time, safe inside your alarm spell anyway. Icarus just starts mumbling in his sleep.
So rude.
What's he saying, Chief?
Just boats.
He's British in his sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his real accent. Yeah, I guess.
Shit.
And mutters a few things in a sort of dialect of common that you don't understand.
It's like shuffles close to Icarus to listen to what he's saying while still keeping watch.
Make an intelligence check.
Straight intelligence?
Yeah.
6.
6. You have no clue. It does seem to be language, but you can't place it or figure out the words.
Okay.
Pandora, you've been asleep for about an hour when the sound of this muttering just wakes you up a little bit.
From mad dreams tonight.
Alright, boat boy.
What?
Oh. Sorry, did he wake you up?
Yeah.
He's talking about boats in his sleep.
Okay.
Do you want to maybe sleep a bit further out? Unless I
Just gonna put a pillow over.
if I silence him, I don't know if I'll silence him.
It's very ominous, Mace.
Yeah.
Anyway, the rest of the night passes
I'll
without...
just cradle Icarus' head in my lap and stroke his hair.
Oh, that's very nice.
So he shuts up.
He does, and the rest of the night passes peacefully. You get your long rest all the same. Icarus, you wake up with your head in Maze's lap.
Oh.
Hey,
Hey.
you were talking about boats in your sleep, and this made you be quiet.
Okay. Sorry.
It's alright. You're saying some weird stuff as well. I couldn't understand it.
Huh. What does it sound like?
Like common, but not. You had a different accent.
Icarus kind of was like blanches a little bit. Oh, right, okay. Weird.
Dreams, man.
Yeah.
You rouse for the morning. Pandora, your experience last night feels like a strange half dream. And the three of you mount the griffins again. And
Who you with today?
Oh my god, stop fighting over
don't
custody of me! When neither of you are looking, may as well flip a coin. It's Pandora.
okay.
This is because I talked in my sleep, isn't it?
So anyway, you take flight once more in the morning, and you find yourself soaring over the glistening waters of like an offshoot of the Chase close to Arx Volatus, and carried back towards the snow-capped peaks that hide the fortress. There's a chill in the air, a cold wind rushing about your faces, but the sky is blue, littered with wisps of white cloud. As you approach, and you can see it sort of set into the mountain, you each begin to notice a strangeness that you haven't encountered before. It's hard to put a finger on it immediately, but you realise after a moment that there's very, very little activity in the courtyard of Arx Volatus, and no one in the fields outside the walls.
Oh.
And the gates are shut.
Okay.
A couple of guards atop the walls see you coming, recognise the griffin straight away, and sort of flag you down with hand signals, gesturing you to land on the stone bridge outside. You land the griffins outside, on the bridge, and a guard at the front gate comes sort of jogging out to meet you, a young elven man you know as Elwyn. He's like, hi.
Is everything alright?
What's going on?
Yeah, fine. Well, I don't know about fine, but if you could leave the griffins with me, and when you step through the gates, there should be someone there to take your weapons.
What?
Oh,
They'll
what?
explain inside.
Why?
Please just do as I'm asking.
Okay.
Is this about Aaron?
No.
Do I believe him?
Roll an insight check at advantage.
Insight 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah, he looks very confused when you say that.
Okay, I believe you.
Please.
Hand the griffins to him.
He just takes their reins and is like, shows you to the door. And as you step through, you feel a wash of arcane energy over you, like stepping through a curtain of magic.
Something any of us would recognise?
Well, for those of you who can cast spells, you feel that well of energy that you cast from drain to near emptiness, like a flame being put out. The magical items you're carrying that you used to like this buzz of sort of arcane sensation from fade back to normal.
What's going on?
Along the top of the walls inside here, you can see a strip of arcane sigils carved into the stone. Now they faintly glow. Just to the left of the doors is the guard station, and two more men come forward, asking you to hand over your weapons. And emerging from the hut before you can ask anything, you see the curly white hair and pale blue freckled skin of a familiar winged tiefling who you haven't seen in nearly 5 months.
Oh boy! What's going on?
Ryan?
Hi. Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you.
What are you doing here? What's happening?
Arx Volatus has been attacked.
What?
I just got here a couple of hours ago. I was called here in the middle of the night. My father and a few others.
What?
The entire fortress has been shut down while we try and figure out what's going on. And Mordechai's put up this anti-magic defense ward over the whole place. No one's allowed to move through with weapons, and I'm sorry.
Your father, is he...
He's alive.
Okay.
He's unconscious, and nobody can wake him up.
Well, surely taking everyone's magic away is not the way about that. But I'm sorry, I'll trust you on this, okay?
Do they know what happened to him?
I can tell you everything if we just...
Yeah. Just...
I could have been investigating on my own. I'm really glad to see you arriving back, actually, because, well, I'm the only impartial party here at the moment.
Why do we need to give our weapons in, though?
Even playing field if people can't cast spells?
Yeah, and the chance that there could be a traitor here. We don't want anybody's weapons being accessible.
Mace just hands over their swords, their crossbow, any daggers they have hidden on their person.
Is that one scene?
Is that, like, takes off their boot, shakes it out, more knives come out.
By the time you're finished, we need to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take the same. Hand over my greatsword and my short sword.
Thank you.
Seablade.
Thanks. Moran will take them inside and you'll see that he is personally locking them up. Like, none of the guards are touching anything. He comes back out and he's just like, right, you're gonna help me with this.
Yeah, you can tell us what's going on.
Whatever this is.
I'll tell you everything I know so far. So, there have been 4 victims.
Victims?
Is anyone dead?
Yeah. One of the guards. There was a young tiefling girl in the infirmary.
What? Anya?
Yeah.
Has she been attacked?
3 days ago. She fell sick.
Can we see her?
Hopefully, but let me explain first. Then, one of the mercenaries, Alexandra, he fell unconscious, also in the infirmary. He'd been in a fight with another one of his friends prior to that, but didn't sustain the kind of injuries that should have knocked him out cold like that.
Okay.
And then my father was in his bedchamber, asleep, as far as anyone knows. No one heard anything, not even my mother asleep in bed next to him, so we can't be sure what time it happened. But she discovered him possibly a few hours after it happened, just lying there. It seemed to be too late to find any sign of how somebody got in and out unnoticed, but if they'd meant to kill him, then they didn't.
And, sorry, between the 3 of these happening, when did the guard die? First or?
Last.
Last.
So, it was the tiefling girl first, and then the next day, Lysander, and then that same night, my father.
Okay.
And as soon as they found him, they put up the anti-magic ward. And people teleport in and out of Arx Volatus. That's one of the main reasons we put it out. Nobody can transport themselves in or out of here using any kind of spell, not even plane or travel. But then one of the guards was attacked on the wall as the ward went up, inside it. Looks like they suffered some sort of necrotic attack. It looks a little different, but can't ignore the timing and rule out being the same person.
But I guess the idea is that whoever did it is stuck here.
Yeah, exactly.
Has anyone left?
Nobody has left. I'm the only person who's arrived.
Okay.
Right, well, take us to see the victims and see if we can see what's going on.
Sure. Oh, one other thing he tells you as you start walking. There has been one person walking around unaccounted for. A small woman with blonde hair in a black dress.
Give Maze a look.
I think we might know who that is.
Either way, we haven't been able to find her, so... So, do you want to go to the infirmary first?
Pandora's already like walking that way.
Okay.
I think that's a yes.
Yeah.
Now she's gonna fire under to himself.
He will lead you up through the courtyard to the infirmary building, which is, as you know, is separate to the other buildings. And you see a couple of the Matricula outside in their red veils, not entering the building. And Orion gives them a nod and goes inside. And he says, I'm not sure if you want to see the body first or the surviving victims.
Victims first. We can see what matches up, and then I'll happily take a look at the body.
Okay. He leads you to the back room of the infirmary. It's light and well ventilated from high windows that don't allow anyone outside to look in. Sort of like small windows right at the top of the room. There's thin curtains hanging between each bed, which are now drawn back to form one bigger room, and you can see 3 of the beds are occupied. 2 guards are stationed in this room near the entrance. In the first bed, you see Elishor, Orion's father, the silver-haired wood elf. He's still fairly young looking for an elf, but he looks older now, like vulnerable, his pale skin almost colourless, and his hair lax about his head. Orion leads you over there, and sort of tells you they only found one sign of what happened to him. Shifts the corner of his robes, and you see a dark handprint on his skin. It looks like an old bruise, almost smoke-like.
We've seen that before.
You recognise it immediately as matching the griffin on the tower a few days ago.
Yep.
He's cursed. I can't do anything with the anti-magic field up. I need... They just want to leave him like this?
One of the reasons they put the field up is that their conditions were deteriorating quite rapidly. The tiefling girl, not so much, but Alexandra and my father, deteriorating much faster.
To be fair, we found a griffin like this a few days ago, and it was like it was rotting before Pandora fixed it.
With the field up, it seems to have put a stop to that for now. They're not waking up, but they're not getting worse. And so until we catch the person, they're safe in this state as far as we can tell.
Still, mate.
You can see Pandora's very antsy. She's like wanting to do something about this but can't.
I know it's frustrating, but if we drop this ward and the person responsible just gets out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same on all of them, they all have this mark.
Well, he leads you over to the next bed. And you see Anya, the young tiefling girl that you rescued from the slavers in Hornwood a couple of days ago. She looks worn down, sweat beading on her like slightly waxy forehead, hair tangled around her horns. Her injuries from the slavers' wagon are not yet completely healed, with several bruises littering across her skin, and the worst of it around her wrists where she was shackled. The skin here is heavily blackened and scabbed from the irons. Orion sort of shrugs and says, I haven't looked too closely myself, but we haven't seen a handprint anywhere on her.
Pandora's gonna try and find one.
Make an investigation check.
Excuse me? Handprint, where is it?
17.
17.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I'd say you look her over briefly, and then it sort of occurs to you before you can even just perceive it. You look at her wrist, where the bruises are from the shackles, and you realise you can really faintly see a hand has been wrapped gently over the bruises and left a print that's slightly darker, that sort of blends into the pre-existing bruises.
Whoever it was held onto her arm. Like, I don't know if that was with the intent of hiding the print or what.
That would make sense.
If she was the first victim, then.
But then why just leave it on Elishor?
Desperation?
Yeah, I mean, if you're sneaking into someone that powerful's bedroom in the middle of the night, you're just gonna hit and run. if you're scared that you're gonna get caught.
Then that leaves me thinking that, I don't know, this one at least carefully planned.
Calculated.
Someone had to know they could do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because otherwise you just... If it's something that's cast with a hand, which it must be, you could just shake someone's hand or just tap them from behind. But if you've seen that, then you know that there's somewhere to hide it.
So someone that's able to come in and out of here freely, and has been recently.
Yeah.
Like, looking at Anya, does she look like she's, like, decaying like the griffin was at all? Or, like...
Inspecting closer on, like, her wrist now, you can see the slightest bit of what looks like necrotic rot spreading out around the pre-existing wounds, but it doesn't look to be as far advanced as it was on the griffin.
Neurotic, but necrotic. No, it doesn't work. It's just neurotic. I was like, my brain was like, necrotic rot, neurotic. Huh? That's a different word.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Thank you. And you said Lysander as well?
He gestures you over to the third bed. You see that Lysander is laid out here and he looks far worse than the others. His fairly androgynous face is black and blue with bruises on his forehead and his jaw. And most prominently, the dark stain of a smoky black handprint is over his mouth.
Lysander was found second, right?
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that turn to Maze like, do you mind?
Sure.
Stand behind Maze and then put my hand around their face. This person was trying to silence Lysander,
Yeah.
which adds to them sneaking around, thinking they can get away with it for a bruise on the wrist, being caught, putting Lysander down, and then just, I don't know, going after your dad?
You said he was, he got into a fight with someone?
Yeah, one of the other mercenaries, Emery.
What?
We're talking to Emery?
Well, he's on lockup at the moment.
Huh.
They're like really close friends though.
Like, just for getting in a squabble?
Well,
Like,
if you have a look, and he sort of pulls the sheet down a little bit where Lysander's on the bed, and you can see he has other injuries, and won't make you roll for it. You can easily identify them as like heavy temporary bruises and like temporary scarring of lightning and force damage. They're sort of splattered across his chest and up his neck in like tendrils.
So not a light fight, huh?
Not a light fight.
what?
So there's a lot of people to talk to because I can't wrap my head around this. The infirmary is mostly visited by the Maid of Kula. They run it.
Okay.
There's the other mercenaries. There's the council members. Guards.
It'll be fine. We've got the time.
We should talk to Emery, though.
I'd like to see the body first.
Yeah. But you said he's locked up.
Yeah. It's the first thing the guards did.
I think he did this.
Well, they know he did the rest of it, so
So why not?
he's not talking either. He won't say anything.
Okay. We'll deal with that bit when we get to that bed.
Okay, let's see the guard.
You want to see the body first while we're here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down then. And he leads you downstairs, down a small staircase that sort of leads off this back room. And you enter a cold and dark chamber. And Ryan explains to you it's usually lit by magic down here, but he sort of gets a torch out and lights it up by hand instead as he guides you further in. You can see that this room down here, the morgue, essentially is packed with snow around the walls to keep it cold. Your breath forming small clouds in the air from the chill. In the centre are a few tables, most of them empty, but one has a body laying on it covered with a cloth.
I'll go up to it, pull the cloth down, and start inspecting the body.
When you lift it, you see the unmoving form of a guard you know to be named Dagar, who's one of the castle's watchmen. He's an older half-elf with streaks of grey in his wiry beard and hair. His skin looks like it's sunken against his once fairly muscular form. Dark circles around his eyes, a greyness to his whole body. The skin around his lips is cracked and peeling like paint coming off an old wall.
Out of habit, Icarus is going to pull out his symbol of cord and go to cast Speak with Dead, and then just be like, fuck. This is really not helpful.
I hate this. I hate it so much.
I know, it's frustrating.
Oh, gotta do things the old-fashioned way.
Why? Okay, so
Look for a handprint.
yeah.
Okay, so you can investigate as long as you want to. You don't find one.
Can I just like medicine check him then from just having dealt with bodies and
Yeah, you can make a medicine check, sort of try and investigate what you're looking at.
Okay. Damn, you only a +2 in medicine. 14.
14. It looks like the damage centers on his face and spreads outwards from there, where like the skin and everything is sunken in. It's kind of like all the moisture has been sucked out from his head and doesn't quite reach down to the rest of his body.
I'll be like relaying that to the group as like Icarus is investigating. Just, I don't get it. It's like moisture's been taken out of his face.
Where his face is like warped and stuff, is there like any sort of like kind of hovering their hand in different positions? Is there any sort of like indentations where it's like, oh, the cheek is slightly more caved in, so like a thumb would fit there, or like there's a bump near the eyebrow where a finger would fit?
Doesn't look like anything like that.
Okay.
Is there any rot anywhere?
It does, like, opening up the mouth and stuff, it does sort of look like this is, once again, necrotic. But not in the same way that the ones upstairs looked almost like they were turning undead. This just looks like sort of the remnants of necrotic damage.
Anyway, if like Arcana checking or telling what spell was used if it was, or
Not at all
Okay.
in the anti-magic ward. There's like no trace of arcane energy on the body.
Pandora, have you read at all? Curses, do they stop when you die?
Generally, yeah. But it would leave some trace, surely.
not that we'd be able to sense that right now with the anti-magic field.
Nope.
But if all the people who are still alive have active curses on them, maybe once you're dead it just goes away.
You're suggesting the handprint faded?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know how this stuff works.
So when did you say he was found, or roughly when he was killed?
And where?
Dagar was found dead around 5 a.m. up on the walls, which was within minutes of the anti-magic ward going up.
Right.
Up already, okay.
Captain Rayner's first suggestion was that perhaps the person responsible was trying to flee right when that happened, but
And no one has left, you say?
no. And there were no signs up on the walls of anyone, like, climbing down or anything manually. Lots of people to speak to.
Yeah, we should probably gotta move on with that.
As well as talking to Emery, we should probably find Avra.
Yeah.
One
of you shout out, she'll probably come to you.
She can't.
She can.
So I don't know if it's worth just checking my room to see if she'd be there.
Sure.
Just real quick.
Who?
The blonde woman.
Right. A friend of yours?
Kind of.
No.
Someone that shouldn't be trusted?
Yes.
Okay. Well then, we can check your room.
Yeah, like she might have retreated there, I guess. I'll just have a look before we go find Emery.
Yeah, may as well lead them back to their room
Okay.
just to see if Avra's in.
Get rid of all travelling stuff
yeah.
as well. I suppose.
Yeah.
You can head up there. You open all of the rooms. Avra's not in there.
Cool.
Pandora's dress was returned before, so yeah. So there doesn't seem to be any sign of her being in those rooms at all. Except Pandora, it does look like someone's been through your wardrobe.
Oh, okay.
Free reign to go through my stuff, huh?
I didn't say that she could.
You broke into my room and took some of my stuff.
Because we're friends, Pandora.
You broke into my room, Maze.
So that she didn't just walk around naked.
Yeah, it's not cool when people use their skills against you, is it? Anyway, I'm gonna move out and just carry on walking down the stairs away.
How much stuff is taken?
It looks like maybe just one dress, but like it was left open and sort of the hangers pushed aside and stuff.
So follow the others.
Okay. See, Orion's just sort of like,
Maze looks at Orion like, help.
Let's go speak to Emery.
yeah. On your way down, Orion's just like, so that aside, you guys okay?
Great. Fine.
I know this isn't the best circumstances, but it's good to see you.
It's really good to see you, Orion.
You're 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Sorry, Damon's not here.
Where is he?
We don't really know. He said he had to go somewhere after the last mission.
He just went off on his own.
Okay. That's fine. I was hoping to see him, but
Is everything okay?
yeah, no, it's fine. It just things back at the mall are not exactly the best.
Okay.
It's just upsetting the status quo, you know. It's not going under, but
It's not the same.
with all the rumors and the official news, people aren't enthusiastic about the gladiators anymore, so but it's fine. You know, the important thing is that before you're safe. I hope he's safe. Fight him if he's not.
I think we all would.
Yeah, got it in line.
You move through the castle and you head down to the holding cells underneath Arx Volatus. There are a couple more guards stationed here, but considering Orion has been brought here to investigate anyway, you guys are allowed in. You head through to the back, the rest of the cells are empty, and you probably know from your time here that they don't hold people at Arx Volatus. They kind of have the cells for instances like this in which they need to briefly hold someone at the end of a contract or something like that, but as it generally goes, they don't serve justice here in Arx Volatus themselves. They pass them on to the people who took out the contracts and the like. So Emery is the only person in the cells. In the far back cell, sort of laying on a bench. And he sees you, he sort of sits up, he's like,
Hey.
Hey, Em, what's going on?
nothing much. Just locked up here.
Yeah, you got into a big fight, it seems.
Yes.
Does he look beat up as well?
Not really. It looks like he thrashed Lysander,
Christ.
who isn't a spellcaster, you would know.
Ooh.
Yikes.
So,
Yes, we got into a fight a couple of nights ago. He sort of looks at Pandora for a moment and then away.
would you call it a fight or a systematic beating?
Well, I'm not particularly proud of myself.
Good.
I saw red, I suppose. It's the way people describe it.
Why? I thought you guys were friends. Why would you just beat the shit out of him like that?
Personal reasons that I don't particularly want to talk about.
Well, I mean, otherwise you might be going down for maybe murder.
I had
So-
nothing to do with that.
How do we believe you?
Can I see if I know that he's lying? I have a whole thing about that.
Yeah, although, I mean, he hasn't made an effort to lie, he's just said he's not telling you.
Right, okay. But I just mean like him saying that he's not got nothing to do with it. Can I?
Yeah, fair enough. Please make an insight check.
Can't roll below an 8. I can count that as an 8, so it's 16.
16. Yeah, I mean, he seems pretty sincere when he insists that he doesn't have anything to do with the people who've collapsed.
Okay.
We got into the fight, and I'll tell you what I tell the guards. When the fight was stopped, they told me that I'd have to speak to the council the next morning. And I went to blow off some steam. And then the next thing I know, it's the middle of the night. I'm in my room and Councillor Elishua has collapsed. And they come straight for me.
Because they figured if you were supposed to talk to the council, then
Yeah.
you would target them.
I haven't seen Lysander, and I've been told very little else about why I've been held or what's really going on.
Well, you gotta trust us here and tell us what did go on.
I'll talk to Pandora.
Are you two especially close now?
I won't talk to anyone else.
Just give us 5 minutes, guys.
Okay.
Just turn on my heel and leave.
What's this about?
It's about you, obviously.
What?
Well, this business with Lysander.
Yeah, what the hell's that about? He's your friend.
Yes.
Yes. And you just attacked
were outside the tavern last night
him? What?
with your tongue down his throat.
What? I haven't been here. I've been away for 3 days.
I've seen you every day on those 3 days. So,
What did I do in those 3 days?
the first day we ran into each other in the archives.
Okay.
You invited me back to your room.
What was I wearing?
Black dress.
There's a black dress missing from my wardrobe.
It wasn't it. You told me afterwards that we should have dinner the next night at the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
And then I arrived there at the time that you asked me to be there to see you and Lysander.
There's like a pulse twitching in her temple.
And afterwards, when the fight was over, we went down to the chamber.
Did we? What did we do in the chamber?
Well, I can tell evidently that you don't know.
That wasn't me, Emery. I haven't been here for 3 days.
Then who the hell was it?
I have an idea.
Oh no.
What did she say to you? Or what did she do?
You really want to ask that?
I'd rather know everything.
Oh no.
In which case he will explain to Pandora intimately the experiences that they didn't actually share together. And then just sort of sit there with his head in his hands.
Pandora looks like she's about to commit atrocities. Okay. And that's everything you know?
That's everything I know. Last time I saw you, we were down in the chamber.
And what, you left together? You went your separate ways?
You said you wanted to stay there for a while, and I just thought you wanted to practice more spellcasting, so I just left you there. I went to bed.
And this was the night of the fight?
Yes.
Okay.
I was just in bed asleep before the councillor was attacked. So, I guess around midnight was the last time I saw not you.
Well, I'm sorry this happened.
Me too.
I can guarantee you it won't be happening again. She's gonna get up, like, sort of kick the chair to one side and leave to find the others.
Pandora slams the door open.
Where's Avra?
I would love to know.
If either of you find her and I'm not there, you tell me immediately. You get a message to me somehow.
You gonna fill us in, or?
Avra caused that fight. By pretending to be me.
Oh.
Do you think this person could be responsible for the rest of this?
I don't know. I don't know what else she's capable of.
She's a succubus.
Do you remember when we've talked about when you just drop things on people?
He needs to know.
Yeah, I know, but you just, no tact.
I wanna go see the rest of the Brotherhood. See if they know anything else.
We can do that.
I don't know where else Abra could be. I mean, the only place I would have thought was your room, maybe the tavern, if that's even open with this going on.
It's not open, but some of the mercenaries are holed up there.
Okay.
If you want to see the others, they're probably there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go then, let's not waste any time.
Mm-hmm.
Sure would be, useful if someone could cast a fine person right now, but don't worry. It's not at you.
Okay.
It's not the situation.
She doesn't really count as a person, so...
Okay, fine bitch. I don't know.
Find bitch. Storming ahead. Red hot.
Not near you at all.
Okay.
It's just like you go over that way.
Let's go find the other mercenaries.
Okay.
And Orion will hurry after you guys. You will head up to the tavern with Pandora storming ahead.
Spicy.
Just lean into Orion as walk and just, I really have missed you. I'm sorry about this.
Me too.
I want to hug him so badly.
Okay. You make your way up to the Barden Baron Tavern. And again, there are more guards stationed outside. You head inside and you see the same group of mercenaries that you tend to spend your time with, minus Lysander and Emery, obviously. You see Bjork,
Yes.
Nefel, Via, and Seros all sort of sat around at their usual table, no drinks or anything, completely silent in this bar. And they all sort of look up when they see you and they're like,
Hi.
Nefel's like, hi.
So we just got back, and we're the investigation team now, so... Hi.
All three of you just got back?
Yeah.
Yep.
So what did Pandora get up to?
It wasn't me.
Okay, So, the three of them can sort of, Bjork the Orc, Nefel, and Vaya can sort of give you a timeline of what Pandora has been up to for the last couple of days. Apparently, Pandora came into the tavern, would be 2 nights ago, so the night that you were in Hindwick. She came into the tavern after work hours. She seemed to take an interest in Lysander, and the two of them spent the whole evening talking. They explained that their fearless leader was hanging off her every word after a few hours, buying her drinks, mostly ignoring them for the rest of the night. Bjork's just like, we were kind of just like, good for him. I mean, you're hot.
And none of you thought that that was very unlike me? To start seducing someone?
Then was just like, well,
Well, what?
Saros, where he sat, like sort of away from the rest of the group, is like, well, Emery. So,
I didn't seduce him.
we're just saying it didn't seem too out of character.
Offended.
What is going on?
And Phil's like, anyway. The next day, Lysander seemed nothing short of infatuated. He was talking about Pandora all day and expressed his excitement that he was going to be spending the evening dining with you at the tavern. Seemed to brush it off every time we mentioned that maybe might sort of put him at odds with Emery a little bit.
Wait, you and Emery a thing? So that's why. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Bjork's like, and I quote, he hasn't got a chance with her.
He said that?
He said that.
Ugh.
Anyway, you arrive at the tavern and we head inside and we don't want to get involved. But the next thing we know, we hear shouting from outside and we see Emery and Lysander just going for each other's throats. We try and break them up, but they looked ready to kill each other and nothing was going to get in the way of doing that. Eventually the guards arrived, but not before Emery started throwing spells around and giving Alexandra a serious beating.
Yeah, we saw.
He headed up to the infirmary and the guards told Emery that he'd need to be questioned in the morning. And he just left with... Not you.
Not me.
Did he go back to his room?
I don't know. We haven't seen him, and we haven't been allowed to see Lysander either.
Fuck. Did Emery tell you anything about where you, not you, went?
Yeah. We can head there at some point.
Okay.
Great, I mean, that might be where she still is.
There.
Anything else?
Those three, like, I think that's kind of what we've got. And Saros leans over and is like, there was a blonde woman when we came out, and those two were fighting. There was just a blonde woman that I didn't recognise sitting on a barrel outside the tavern.
In a black dress?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the same person.
What was she doing?
Just watching. She seemed pretty happy about it. So,
Tracks?
Yeah.
Have you seen the blonde woman since?
nope.
You said you guys haven't been allowed in to see Lysander.
Yeah, not at all.
Has, like, anyone in particular, other than us, anyone, like, got jurisdiction to just go in and out of there, or?
Just the Metacula. They can go in and out as they please. I mean, they're there to look after the people in the infirmary.
Of course. Okay, great, thanks, I think.
Yeah, well, if anything else, we'll be here, trying not to get in any trouble, so...
Sure. We'll see you in a bit, Kay.
Let us, get the message to us if you see the blonde woman.
Will do.
You know what? If you see the blonde woman, just like grab her by the throat and like hold her on a table or something.
Or just get somebody to let us know.
Sure.
That one.
Moran's like, okay, getting more complicated, huh?
Apparently so. Gives Pandora a look. Leaves the room.
So there's this blonde woman, Adira.
Yes.
There's the maid of Cula to speak to, the guards, the counselors. I don't feel like we're getting any closer because it feels like this Adira person is responsible for this, but this isn't giving us any clues about everyone else.
I'm gonna put this out there, not to sound suspicious, but the organization of people who cover their faces is a pretty good disguise for sneaking around.
Well, I mean, Lysander didn't go to the infirmary with a mark on his face that I can gather.
That's what I mean. They can
But
just
that
go in and
happened
out.
after, so maybe they'll have seen something.
I was just putting it out there.
We can speak to them.
Yeah.
So where first?
I have an idea as to where Adira might be.
Then let's deal with that.
Okay. We'll lead the way to the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yay, more secrets from Pandora.
Pandora leads you around the side of the main building, down some steps. It's still within the perimeter of the anti-magic ward, but it's sort of bordering on outside of the actual fortress itself. This stone door in the side of the mountain. You push inside into the dark. At first, you see nothing and hear nothing but silence. Then you can make out the quiet sound of beating wings.
Big wings?
Big wings.
Big wing.
Pandora looking around with dark vision. You see Adira flying sort of upwards in the roof of the cavern in her true form. Around 6 foot tall. Long red hair swept messily back from her face. Her reddish pink skin, flawless, 2 small horns protruding from her forehead. These massive leathery bat wings keeping her up in the air. And a thin tail whipping out behind her almost nervously. Her eyes are solid red, and her hands have long black obsidian claws.
Gonna walk up in her direction.
She looks down and she's like,
Eyes locked on hers.
I knew you'd come.
Lighting up a torch in the entrance. Just
Oh!
Finally.
Adira.
Adira!
Hi. You see that the black dress doesn't quite fit her as well in this form.
She boobylicious.
It's straining in lots of places.
What brings you down here?
I don't know whether you've noticed,
You
but
can't get your regular form back. Not with the anti-magic field.
I can't disguise myself.
No.
Who's this? She looks at
No,
Ryan.
no.
She's like, ooh.
No.
Sorry.
Force the habit!
Is she still in the air?
No, she's come down to the ground.
No.
Just gonna like lock eyes with her for a hot, silent second and just fling herself at her.
Like, you're gonna try and grab at her?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a.
She wants to tear her eyes out.
roll a dex check.
Oh no.
I've been naughty today.
Yeah. Please. 21.
Oh! I'm just gonna see how modified, but I don't think it's gonna be that. No, it's not. You manage to like grab onto her leg as she takes off.
Just like tearing at her, just like screaming.
Ryan's like,
I'm gonna
get off me!
I'm gonna come up behind you and just restrain you, Pandora.
Make a strength check. Make a contesting one if you're trying to break out.
For God's sake. 2. 21.
Icarus's arms just come around you and lock around
Let
you.
me go!
No!
I'm going to kill her!
You're not gonna kill me, sweetie. Calm down.
How dare you! How dare you! just like trying to
What?
get to her.
She's just like flying just out of your reach now. She's like, what? How dare I?
How dare you impersonate me and do all whatever you did?
Sweetie, I'm a devil.
What? That's supposed to be excuse for that?
Well, no, I just don't care. So calm down and stop yelling. You're acting like a child. Anyway, I'm in a bit of a tight spot here. You got my ring or what?
Right, I don't think you want this. It made the guy who wore it break his own leg.
I don't care, it's my boss. Orion's like, what is going on?
You know what? Give it to her. See what it does to her.
Sure, okay, it'll make you fuck yourself up completely.
Oh, not in this field. As the ring comes out of Maze's pocket, make a wisdom save.
Oh shit. I'm still holding on to you, so.
19.
19. Okay. You're fine, you can resist, but the second it comes out of Maze's pocket, you feel the same strong pull of magic, making you want to put it on. And it's like the same, it's just like hands up. Oh no.
Yeah, it wants people to wear it so it can just torture them.
Why does that still work here?
In an anti-magic field.
Why does that still work?
And she just like backs away from it.
I fucking told you that thing was powerful. How weird.
Put it away.
Pockets it again.
Deal with that afterwards. Okay, well, I don't know what to do here.
Okay. Help us. Do you know anything about this weird curse shit that's happening?
Curse?
People.
Have you heard? I'm gonna release you. Have you heard anything or seen anything about this, like, necrotic handprint that is hitting people?
She's just like, I don't know anything about any curse or handprint, okay? That has nothing to do with me.
So explain yourself then. What have you been doing the last few days?
I'm impersonating you, sweetie.
Why?
Because you're pretty. Pandora's just so attractive and stuck up.
You
I had to let her loosen up a little bit.
You made two people nearly kill each other.
I wasn't gonna let them kill each other.
And that was fun for you?
Well,
Devil.
Like, are we gonna excuse this?
I kind of feel like it falls a bit lower on the list of priorities right now.
besides, that's fun for me. Fun for you is coming down here into this chamber and doing lots of experimental magic, right?
What?
Looks like she wants to kill her again.
Anyway, I just decided to mess with a couple of people because that's what I do. I was bored. You left me here.
Who else did you mess with?
It's just those two. And the barkeep, I was just like trying to implant some seeds into his head, but I didn't get enough time.
And you know nothing about the people who are unconscious?
No. I've been trapped down here since last night.
Do I believe her?
Making a switcher?
16?
Yeah, she seems to be brutally honest right now. She hasn't been hiding anything else. Look, okay. I did attack one guy.
What guy?
A guard on the wall.
When the field went up?
Yeah.
You killed him?
I didn't mean to.
That's why it was round his face. You kissed him.
Orion's like... standing behind you guys like, what?
He's dead, you know?
Oh, la-di-da.
Okay, but that...
That explains why it doesn't match up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down here in the cabin. I thought I'd just go back to the castle and hide in your room. And I got up onto the wall, and my disguise drops. Right in front of the guard. He looks me dead in the eye, so I had no choice.
Oh, you had no choice. Okay, cool.
No choice but to kill him. Okay.
Well, what else was I gonna do?
Demon, right?
Look at me! I'm hideous like this.
I mean, not hideous.
Are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? She's killed someone!
You
Yes.
guys kill people all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I'm not getting into semantics of who's in the right and who's in the wrong when it comes to killing people because, yeah, it's a debate that can go on for days.
Yes. So, I don't want to be trapped in here, but no, it didn't have anything to do with the curse.
Good. That's all we want to know.
And what, you're still here because you can't plane shift, go back to the house?
Well, yeah.
So you're
And also, I was waiting for my ring.
do you want it?
Yeah,
I do want it.
What's
but
the deal with that now?
I don't know how to take it.
What?
I don't know how to take it without. I can feel it calling to me and it wants me to put it on. I don't want to do that. So, I don't know how to take it down to the house with me.
Pandora's gonna reach into her pocket where Peshek's blessing is.
Yeah.
Does it still have that same sort of...
No.
Oh, okay.
No. The magic on that has dropped with the anti-magic field. As it has on all other magical items except the ring.
Pandora goes a bit pale. And takes a step away from Maze with the ring.
I'm gonna ask, like, Maze, can I just have a look at the ring for a second? I want to see what kind of thing is on that. Like, I want to Arcana check it essentially to see.
Yeah.
Ring out.
Right now.
Arcana check.
I'd say without making you roll for it, it still continues to have this, like, perhaps some sort of powerful spell worked into it, but you can't find anything identifying on the ring as to why it wouldn't die with the anti-magic field like everything else.
Almost like it was made with magic rather than infused. Like it's so imbued into the thing that it can't be.
Not really.
It's just a higher level than the magic field, kind of.
Nope.
Okay.
Huh.
Nope. Like, all of those explanations, you sort of think over them, they don't make sense.
Huh.
Doesn't explain why this wouldn't work. There's, as far as you understand anti-magic fields, and you probably studied a bit about them at Delphos, no spell should work in them, as far as you know.
Be relaying this as I'm just sort of like looking it all over.
Pandora, you can make an anti-magic check. You can make an Arcana check to see if you can think up anything else.
You are 9. 16.
You feel like there's something you're not remembering about anti-magic fields, but it's in this moment you sort of, your brain's not in it.
Why does that still work? Why does that still work?
I don't know. It's a bit weird.
Right, so we could take it to Mordechai.
Yeah.
It's his anti-magic field. Maybe he'll know how to contain that thing as well.
To be fair, I was gonna ask him about it anyway before we got into all of this.
Okay, so you're succubus.
Not ours.
Not ours.
Well,
But yeah, Amber, you are gonna have to stay here, right?
well, yeah, I can't do anything else.
We'll get you a coloring in book or something. I don't know.
Oh, ha ha ha!
She
You can
doesn't-
stay and keep me company if you like.
No, I'm good, thanks.
She doesn't deserve a colouring book.
Oh, shut up, you child.
You don't deserve the big Toblerone!
You don't deserve the big Toblerone, Avra!
Can't handle that.
She doesn't deserve a colouring book. Whoa! Scathing. The most scathing thing Sasha has said on stream.
Okay, well, you can just plane shift out of here when this all drops.
And I have my ring.
Okay?
Do you really want it? I mean, you should have seen the shit it was doing back in the town.
Well, it's not really my deal.
I mean, do you think your boss would be able to, like, withstand it? Or is
No,
he gonna-
let him try, it'll be funny.
He's an archdevil.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Brian is just like,
Yeah, give him the thing that's rejecting the anti-magic field and still working despite all of it, yeah, it'll be fine. Let's see what'll happen. It'll be really funny.
Yeah, see if your boss just breaks his leg for fun.
Ew.
Yeah,
That's what
right?
it does.
And I suppose you grant a wish at the end of that, though, right?
Nope.
No.
It doesn't.
It just makes you do stuff until it gets bored of you.
And then it'll, like, pass on to another person.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna want that, but when a bargain's not fulfilled,
I mean,
give me your soul.
No.
technically it's fulfilled because that's what you asked for. It's not up to, it's not in the fine print that you have to take it. But we went, we got it. It's done.
You're right. Fine print. I can call that done.
Okay.
And you also have to help me get out of here
Why?
safely. Because shut up. I'm talking to these two, not you. Okay.
Well, as soon as this drops, you can just poof yourself, right?
True. So you better sort this mess out and get rid of this anti-magic field. Go.
We're going
Hurry
to anyway. Oh my
You're wasting my time.
Deal. Just, okay.
Deal. You want a kiss on it?
No, I'm okay, sweetie.
God. Just shake.
She'll shake your hand again. Orion sort of ushers you out. It's like, I don't think that I want to ask what any of that was about.
Probably better not.
No.
That seems like your thing and nothing to do with any of this, so.
It isn't.
Okay, which leaves no further answers.
But no,
She killed the guard.
she killed the guard. That
Okay, yeah,
Shorts
you're
the
right.
list.
You're right. So it's just a poor guy in the wrong place at the wrong time.
accidentally came across a succubus.
So we're gonna go talk to the Medicula and see if they know anything about Anya and Lysander.
And then there's the council and Mordechai.
Yeah.
Should we kill two birds with one stone? Like you and me go to Mordecai, you two do something.
Sure.
Cover more ground faster.
Let's do it.
Just gives Orion a look of just like Pandora.
Like, huh?
Oh, to Pandora.
Come on, Dora.
Off they go.
Off they go. Okay, well, do Mordecai first. You know that he has an office inside the fortress. And yeah, he handles all of the arcane stuff for the fortress. You know that Mordecai is this sort of old and wizened elf with long grey hair who teleports people out of this place and deals with arcane problems that come in. His office is a warmly lit room lined with bookshelves and a fireplace at one end. His long grey hair is like just tied back in a very low ribbon. His skin heavy with wrinkles. He's wearing half moon glasses. And he sees you, he's like, ah, come in. What can I do for you?
Just a few questions for you, sir, if that's okay.
Of course.
Is there any reason that an arcane item would still work with this dome field you've put up? Any reason at all?
Blimey. Sort of gets up from his armchair and stretches. Is this hypothetical, or do you have an item?
We have an item.
Pulls out the ring. Does this symbol mean anything to you?
Oh, I think it does.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and that is... May I see it?
Wait, before you hand it over, does it look like he's being drawn to it?
Yes. Does it look like it's pussing him?
Make an insight check.
Puss check.
That is a
23.
Well,
Not at all.
Okay.
so that I had 14.
The look on his face looks like recognition, but not like...
Desire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not covetous.
Great.
He's good.
Okay.
They will put a cloth over his hand so as not to touch it and take the ring. I have seen the Dark Sun sigil before, maybe in the archives.
What does it mean?
I think I have a book here actually, and he will lay it down on his desk very carefully on the cloth and go over to one of his bookshelves and sort of move through it.
He's just so handy,
Knows everything.
honestly.
As he's looking for the book, he just sort of talks half to you, half out loud, and says, you know, the only reason why something might not fail within the anti-magic field, typically an item created by a deity.
What kind of deity creates a torture ring?
That's a good question. But as I understand it, that's the only reason, it's the only thing that can survive inside an anti-magic field is the legendary weapons of a god or
Okay.
something to that effect.
Well, this ring was calling to people and making them do things for the chance of getting one wish, but it wasn't actually giving them that wish.
There have been a number of evil gods in the pantheon over the years, so it's not impossible. And he pulls a book out, flicks through some like very delicate, very old looking pages, and turns the page around and shows you the same black sun sigil with a skull in the centre of it, and translates the sort of old text underneath and tells you that this is just the symbol of the Church of the Dark Sun. Not much is known about them by the look of it, but they were a church who believed that all the societal bonds of friendship and family and love were weak ties that would wither away, and useless and pitiful. Looks like they considered eclipses holy. They accompanied eclipses with fervent prayer and feast and bloody sacrifice.
Yeah, that sounds about right from what we saw at the church.
Anything about necromancy?
I don't see anything to that effect.
Or the deity that they worshipped? Or were they just some weird cult?
It looks like they were seeking out constantly 7 iron keys, but to what end I don't know.
7 iron keys would indicate 7 iron locks.
There's a key. I thought it must be a lock. Very smart young Hasegawa.
I'm just saying, it means they're trying to open something? Either that or it's just purely symbolic.
I don't know how much the two of you know about our current deities, but a long, long time ago back in prehistory there were other deities that were worshipped,
Oh my god, he can talk so quickly suddenly.
which you two would know of your vague knowledge of Shiraz already. And many of them fell out of worship or were killed, supposedly, according to legend.
You can kill gods?
Yeah.
Gods can kill gods. Supposedly. Many of the names were wiped out of any humanoid record, so...
History's written by the victors and all that.
I guess.
So this could be potentially a god who was defeated,
Possibly.
locked up.
I would be disinclined to believe it myself if I wasn't seeing with my own eyes an item that wasn't wiped out in the field. This thing needs to be very, very carefully encased and
Yeah,
hidden.
we were gonna ask if there was any way you knew of protecting it, hiding it. I can't just keep it in my pocket.
You can leave it here, concealed, until all of this business is done with.
Thank you.
And once the anti-magic ward has been dropped, then there's more I can do. I can likely identify it so we know exactly what we're dealing with.
Okay.
And then perhaps we can bind it somehow, or
Just be aware that it calls to people.
I will be very careful.
So if anyone gets a crazy look in their eye when they take a look at it.
Or just don't let anyone else in for a while.
That I can do.
Thank you. Alright, we're gonna go and carry on investigating.
Yeah.
Come on.
You'll see that he very carefully wraps it up in this cloth and then puts it inside a small lockable box on his desk and then locks that.
Now put that box.
I nailed that box to myself.
Puts it inside another puzzle box and takes the pieces out. Good luck.
Thank you.
We'll send you on your way. At the same time, Pandora, Orion walks with you sort of back across the courtyard towards the infirmary and it's like, I don't feel like there's any point asking this, but you okay?
No.
It's not just this, is it?
This is more important right now. How are you?
Been better.
I'm sorry about your dad.
I don't know what this says about me, but currently I'm more concerned about your well-being than his.
As he says that, she looks like she wants nothing more than to just fling her arms around him and hug him, but there's just so much else going on in her brain right now. May tequila?
Ridicule. You head back to the infirmary and you see 4 members of the Metacular who were stood outside earlier. Orion walks up, sort of bows his head towards one of them, who you will probably recognise as Artemia from her wrinkled hands. So their faces are covered, and the long white robes they wear with the red veils cover like most of their body, but you can kind of make out body shapes and skin tones and other small identifying features on them. He's like, Artemia, sorry for the intrusion. We have some questions if you don't mind. She's like,
Can you tell us anything about Anya? She was the first one to get sick, to fall unconscious. What was it?
well, Samula over here was on duty when she collapsed. She sort of nods her head to one who must be orcish. He's about 5'11", broad shoulders and a sort of green tinged skin. He's like, yeah, no one had been in or out of the infirmary since my shift started, about 2 hours earlier. I took over from Artemia. Anya was improving. Her body was getting stronger, she was finally eating. Her memory hadn't returned, but felt like things were on the up. I wasn't in the room, unfortunately, the moment it happened. But the next time I checked on her, she was just unconscious on the bed, comatose. I checked her over, but I couldn't find any injuries, so I called Artemia to help me. We decided to isolate her in the infirmary, in case it was a sickness or something that could spread to other people.
Okay. And no one came in or out? Like, while you were out the room?
I was out of her room, but I was still in the infirmary, and there was no other way to her room except to pass me.
And you didn't see anyone?
I didn't see anyone. 2 hours.
What about Lysander?
Artemia points you towards another member of the Metacula, a short, heavy-set woman with sort of smooth, pale skin on like delicate hands, and long brown hair which kept up in a bun that sticks out from under her veil. She's like, I discovered Lysander. I was hurrying to the infirmary, having heard about the fight. I was going to help with his injuries. When I entered, there was no one else inside, and he was sprawled out on the floor. Admittedly, I panicked a bit.
So he came in on his own? No one came with him?
From what we've been able to gather, he was sent up to the infirmary from the tavern, and he was alone, and no one else was in here. He had some clear injuries, obviously, from the fight. All of those arcane. And then there was the heavy bruising on his forehead, his chest, and then the handprint over his mouth.
Yeah.
And he was just laying on the floor.
What you're dealing with is not a sickness, it's a curse.
It makes sense. None of his other injuries could be healed with potions or healing magic or traditional medicine.
Mm-hmm. So they're all in some sort of stasis now with the anti-magic field?
Mm.
And prior to that going up, what was happening to them?
So Tammy speaks up again now, and she says that I've been watching over all three of the victims. Despite becoming comatose, they seem to be in worsening conditions, sweating, their faces getting sunken and ill. Obviously this has stopped since the anti-magic ward was put up, but I felt like they were deteriorating. And you've been in and seen those signs of rot.
Mm-hmm. Are there any... What are the ways in and out of the infirmary?
There is just one door at the front.
And there's the little windows, isn't there?
The little windows that are like
How high up are they?
like 30 feet up the wall.
Okay.
It's like a sort of pitched roof, almost like a temple.
Big enough to get through or no?
Not at all.
Okay.
Unless you were a child.
A child or
Yeah.
smoke or something like that, you know.
And then do they have any little office rooms off the main infirmary or
There are a
storage
few
cupboards?
different storage rooms and that sort of thing, like dotted throughout.
Okay. Just a minute if you don't mind me taking a look around.
Of course.
Just gonna inspect any other rooms off the main room, see if anything's been disturbed or signs of anyone hiding or...
Make an investigation check.
It's not kind of dreamy. Plus 7. 15.
15. Okay. You don't find any signs of anything being stolen or anything like that in the infirmary, although one of the doors relatively close to the entrance that leads into a storage cupboard, it looks like there are some footprints in there, sort of in the dust, and a shelf looks like it's been knocked very slightly, like someone has hurried in there.
Okay. I'll call out to Artemia. Do you know anything about this? The shelf looks like it's been disturbed and there's some footprints in here. Do people come in here often?
No, nobody really uses that cupboard for anything.
Is there anyone new amongst your ranks?
She looks around at the other mage killer and is like, no.
Or any place where there would be spare uniforms?
Yes, in that particular cupboard.
Can you tell if anything is missing?
She'll come in and look through, and she's like, it does look like one is missing.
Someone's masquerading as one of you.
As you know, there's a dozen of us around the castle.
And you would be able to vouch for everyone? Or at least you would know who was supposed to be with you?
I would know who was supposed to be with us.
Or did anyone come in at any other point? To see Anya or to see Lysander? Because the Brotherhood said they've not been allowed to see him.
Only Councillor Elion came in when I was on my shift before Samul. Was trying to communicate with her to discuss her future here at the fortress. He came in and I gave her a checkup afterwards and she was still fine. I mean,
what did he say to her? Do you remember?
He was trying his best to talk to the poor girl, considering she couldn't speak back. about whether she wanted to stay here, whether there's anyone she could remember who needs contacting by him. Apart from that, nobody's really been in and out of the infirmary.
Okay. That's all for the moment, but we might be back to
Sure.
question some more.
Ryan's like, we should get back to the others.
Mm-hmm.
And the four of you can go meet up again at the front entrance of the actual fortress building. You get anything good?
Yeah, that ring was kind of made by a deity.
What?
We don't know who though.
They worship because of the black sun.
Like an old god.
Does that mean anything to me? Like the dark sun or anything like that?
I won't make you roll for it. It doesn't
Okay.
mean anything to you.
Okay.
Could be from prehistory. One of the gods who was killed or held.
Imprisoned.
Huh.
Yeah, wild, huh?
That's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
Where is it now?
In a box in Mordechai's office.
Good.
Locked up.
He's gonna take care of it when this gets dropped.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Well, we questioned the Medicula.
There may be someone masquerading as one of them.
One of their uniforms was missing.
You look so smug.
I'm just saying.
Don't be smug about it.
I'm not being smug about it. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Also, no one came into the room when Anya collapsed.
Yeah, the Medicula who was on guard, no, Timmy can vouch for him, he's been here for a long time, but he said that he'd been in there on shift for 2 hours and no one had come in or out of the infirmary.
Shit, okay.
And she just collapsed. And the only person who visited before that
Was Councillor Ilion to
Why?
try and talk to her to see, like, try and get any information from her, I suppose.
We all knew that she can't talk back, right?
Like, maybe we can go talk to Ileana.
Yeah, why not?
You make your way inside the fortress, and the guards continue to let you through, being the ones investigating this. At which point you can head on up towards Elion's chambers. He's got 2 guards stationed outside his door.
Hello. Can we speak to Elion?
He hasn't come out for hours, but
Knock knock.
here from the other side of the door. Who is it?
Icarus Paleo, Mesa Sogawa, and Pandora Rossi, and Orion.
What do you want?
We're investigating. We'd like to ask you a few questions.
We heard that you spoke to Anya, the tiefling girl, before stuff got a bit strange with her, and we were just interested to know, like, what the conversation was about, and
Have you noticed anything or anyone?
yeah, anything strange.
You better come on in.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you enter Councillor Elion's bedchamber, essentially.
Mhm.
He has all the curtains drawn on
For the
inside.
drama.
For the drama. Yeah, so the room is dark apart from a couple of candles. But you see, turned away from you, this blonde-haired wood elf,
For the drama.
who was the one you remember that Orion didn't recognise when you first arrived here
Mhm.
several months ago. He's the newest member of the council.
Have we had like much dealings with any of the council members in particular?
Not
Like-
really,
okay.
and in your time, if you have had to speak to them, you've spoken to Elishore,
Yeah,
who has been
makes
sort of
sense.
like burdened with your existence here at Arx Volatus.
Wow, burdened.
I am already burdened with my own existence, thank you.
Lay off, okay.
But Elion is turned away from you in the dark, and he waits for the door to close before he even speaks.
We'll close the door behind us. Like, hi, is everything alright?
Not quite.
What's going on?
Have you been attacked?
It's quiet for a moment, and then not quite. And he turns around, and you see that the left half of his face, from his forehead down to his jaw, looks like it's rotting. You can see as the light flickers over it, it kind of looks like Like the skin is sort of shrunk down into the muscle mass on his face. Like it's sort of like porous and like folding away into itself around his eye, sort of like peeling the eyelid down.
You sure you haven't been attacked?
Quite sure. Ryan's like, then what happened? He sort of runs his fingers over it. It's a curse. Quite an old one.
Your curse?
I can't hide it right now.
With the anti-magic field.
I cursed the tiefling girl.
Stiffens.
For what purpose?
It's a unique necrotic spell. Drains life force and siphons it to me.
Why?
Because otherwise I rot.
And you've had this
30 years. Orion's like, I'm getting the guard.
Yeah.
So you've
And
just...
Ilion's just like, wait, let me continue to explain before you get any guard, okay? I understand that I have done something wrong here, and I am willing to accept that, but I'm not responsible for the mercenary or Councillor Elishore.
Then what happened to them? And
Where did this curse even come from?
30 years, like why? How come like this hasn't happened before? Like how come no one has known anything about it?
He's a new counselor.
It's never been so needy before. And I used to be able to get by draining the occasional plant or wild animal.
Or griffin?
How do you know about that?
We found the griffin.
We removed the curse on it. And that affected you.
I didn't know.
So you drain something until it dies? Is that how it works?
No, I try not to. The easiest thing to do since I've been in Arx Volatus has just been to sneak further up into the mountains and attach the curse onto small creatures for a time. There's bats up there. They've made for easy sustenance. But it's been getting worse recently, and I decided I needed a bit of prey, and I attacked that griffin. I know I shouldn't have, but I was getting desperate. When the link between me and the griffin was severed, and I didn't know why, I didn't get nearly enough energy from it to sustain myself, and the rot started to return within a couple of days.
We severed the connection to the griffin just before it died, like before it would have died. So you wouldn't have got the amount you wanted anyway. So this is getting worse for you? And that's why you moved on to the people? A girl. Anya, her name by the way.
Why? Why her?
Because you thought you could get away with it.
Disposable.
Hide it, or she was already bruised.
But now that the field has gone up, you don't have that connection to her anymore.
No.
I still don't see a reason why we shouldn't get the guard.
What
It's an
reason?
explanation, not an excuse.
What about the other two?
That's why I'm telling you any of this. Because I didn't have anything to do with the other two. But it's definitely the same curse.
Where did this curse come from?
The Feywild.
Is it just you then, or?
My whole village.
Why?
It's an old fallout, a mishap with the Fey.
And who else is with you from your village here?
No one. I came to Arx Volatus alone.
Clearly not.
But I did.
And what, someone's followed you?
Why did you come here then?
Just started fresh.
No.
You've told us however much already, just please.
Make a persuasion check.
I saw that fucking face.
8.
8. He does not look like he's willing to give up this information. I can tell you there must be someone else from my village hiding in the castle. That's what I know. I would probably be able to identify them on sight.
But you're not leaving your room. So unless we have a parade of people coming in and out, all of them come to have a look at you.
Why would someone else attack Lysander and Elishor?
I don't know.
I mean, Lysander could very well have been an accident, or to shut him up, because he was attacked from behind. But then Elishor was attacked in the middle of the night.
To sneak into a council member's chambers.
Do I believe him when he says he doesn't know?
Make an insight check.
Insight is +5, 21.
21. No. He knows. He's just, you can see that he's like getting nervous now. He's sort of drawing it into himself.
I'm gonna walk up to him then. How tall is he?
About the same height as you.
Damn it! Okay. You gonna keep fucking us around? You gonna start giving us some proper answers? You know why those 2 people were attacked. You also have a different reason that you came here. I saw it in your face. I might not have zone of truth right now, but I don't need it.
Make an intimidation check. Say at advantage.
Ooh! That's a crit. It's a 23.
23. Okay, he's like, he draws back on himself. He's like, okay, I'll tell you. I came here 4 years ago. Looks at Orion and then looks away. For revenge.
Against Elishor?
The Brotherhood in general, really.
Why?
But we needed help. My village. And the Brotherhood turned us away. And this is how we ended up. You see Orion's face just sort of drop. But I came here and I changed my mind. These are good people. I decided that I wanted to stay here and I thought I could leave it all behind.
Did everyone from your village want revenge?
Yes.
So someone's followed you because you didn't do your job.
What did you need help with? The Feywild?
We were set an impossible task that we couldn't complete on our own, not without some military level training. We're not warriors, we're just wood elves. We live in a small community in the forest. We wanted the Brotherhood to help us out. Get this curse lifted. We don't want to hurt people. We don't want to die.
Did they say why they wouldn't help you?
Not their problem.
That doesn't sound right.
Ryan's like, no, it does sound a bit like my father. He can be picky.
I can understand that a group of justice-driven mercenaries wouldn't necessarily want to meddle with the Fae.
No. Particularly not if it curses the result.
Yeah.
Better to let someone else suffer for it rather than bring it home.
But then someone else has followed you along here.
And I guess wants to finish the job if they've already made a move on Elishor.
I don't want that. I don't want anybody to die.
Probably then.
Make an insight check.
That's in that one. I'm like, yes.
You don't know.
He seems pretty sincere.
Okay.
But you're gonna turn yourself in, right?
I don't have much else of a choice. So, in the Spirit of justice, I suppose. I will leave this room and help you find them.
Would you like a veil or mask?
No.
Okay.
It shouldn't be hard to find whoever it is. They're not gonna look much different from me right now.
Okay.
Thank you for your honesty.
I'm very sorry about the keep.
You made it collapse?
There is a spell. You can cast another spell and leave it sort of prepared for when the right conditions are met.
Useful.
So the footprints,
An illusion.
and then the stone crumbling.
A simple casting of molding rock and earth.
And then that's how you got Anya as well. Why she didn't collapse immediately.
Seemed pretty foolproof. Let's not waste any more time.
No. Okay.
So Ryan is sort of, as the group of you leave this room, lingers at the back quite quietly, looking deep in thought.
You okay?
Elion comes out with you and essentially asks that they call everybody in Arx Volatus out to the courtyard.
Damn.
And as a counsellor, the guards just listen to his word. A little wary of looking at his face.
Threadwell, huge fan of your work.
honestly.
literally.
He asks everyone out there, and you see that the castle empties into the courtyard now, all 250 people. And he stands at the front and announces to all of them that he's going to be inspecting them to look for a traitor amongst the ranks. And the three of you and Ryan sort of hang back. As you do, maybe a perception check.
Please.
Please. 21.
No!
21.
Natural 1!
No!
With my +8.
You two 21?
Yeah.
So you easily see then, as Elion moves down the ranks, someone, like everyone sort of stood sort of lined up and still. You see someone sort of carefully moving towards the edge of the lines.
Carefully moving towards them.
Yep.
Are you trying to be unseen, or are you just moving towards them?
Not towards them, but like along the line as though parading it.
Yeah, like round the outside.
Okay.
You want way me to do
Pincer,
that? Yeah. Just, we see this person, and in a moment of just complete solidarity that they haven't had in a while, just
I'm just like, oh, you're going, okay. Continue to
Two of
stand.
you move around the outside of the group of people and towards this person who's just sort of shifting through the crowd. You see are wearing a red veil, and they haven't seen you as they sort of shuffle towards the edge of the line.
Pincer them.
come up on either side of them and just take a hand, like, or take like a wrist in my hand, like, hello.
You both gonna grab them?
I'm gonna not grab just yet, just hang back and see what they're gonna do, but get closer.
I'm gonna grab.
You can grab their wrist. They immediately pull against you and try and pull their wrist free. Make a strength check.
Don't let me down. Nat 20, 23.
Yeah.
Nice.
Icarus the unmovable.
You can see they just like go to violently tug their arm away from you, and you just have them gripped there.
I'll pull them into my arms and just like lock
You
them.
hear a voice from behind you like, "Unhand me!"
No.
and start struggling back against you, but you just have them locked in your arms.
Where do you think you're going?
I will join Icarus.
You see that the crowd starts to part as well. And he's like, "Come on, go with me!"
Come on. I think you should go and get inspected.
Okay. They cannot fight free. You start dragging them towards the front, and everyone's just sort of like muttering amongst themselves. A member of the Major Killer, one of our veiled clerics of Soon, as they're dragged out towards the front. And Elion walks over to you and is like,
You're trying to escape.
glowers as he looks up at them and just grabs hold of the veil and pulls it aside, and you see a full face of this same kind of rot, like disappearing down into the robes. And Elion's just like, Uncle Galadir. He looks back at Councillor Elion and is like, hello, betrayer.
I'm making my way over to this little drama.
And Icarus, you have his arms like pinned down at his sides. He reaches into the robe, and you see him pull out a knife.
Ooh.
And he's gonna swing backwards for Icarus's leg.
Okay.
Ooh. Run and grab him!
You are gonna take 4 points of piercing damage as he just stabs the dagger into your thigh.
Okay. I will, like, with him in my arms, just sort of like jolt his like arms and like back, essentially, just sort of be like, fucking put that down.
He's still holding on to it, but you haven't squeezed tightly. He's like, let me go.
I shall relieve him of this dagger.
Yeah, pry out of his hands. And you see the guards are now like ushering people away from the courtyard again quickly.
Big wielding mother.
You've got some explaining to do. You have got some explaining to do. He's just staring at Elion, and I was like, lock him up. And the guards come forward and just take him and put him in cuffs.
And release Emery while you're down there as well.
Everything from there moves quite fast. The guards sort of come into action. They take Galadir away. The other councillors are called forward, and Elion requests that he speak to them in the councillors' chamber. And the three of you and Orion are sort of like ushered aside to Captain Rayner, who is just like, are all of you okay?
Yeah.
I have a grievous wound.
Yeah, you'll be okay.
I will never walk again.
Pat, pat.
Ah! I made it worse.
Pandora getting antsy once again. How much longer are they going to keep this field up? We need to uncurse these people.
If you can do that, then come with me.
Mm-hmm.
She will lead you through back to the infirmary. I believe the councillors are going to take it from here. It's likely that the trader will be locked up to await a fair trial. And I don't know what will happen beyond that, but we can't thank you enough. She leads you into the back of the infirmary again. And it's probably another 20 minutes of waiting around while they go and sort out dropping the anti-magic field. Is anyone doing anything in that time?
Pacing.
Angrily glowering at Pandora.
You got something to say?
Really, I could ask the same question of you.
What?
We keep just finding stuff out about you, Pandora.
People are allowed to have secrets.
Yeah, but forgive me if I thought we were friends and we shared information with each other, and I guess I thought different about where we were at.
What do you want me to say?
Anything. I'd love to be able to talk.
About what? What is there to say?
Whatever's on your mind. Honestly.
It's not for you to be bothering with.
Okay. I'm just scared that you're not coming back from this. Because you're not.
May, stop.
What?
All of you are hurting. After everything that happened in Erin. Stop. Pandora doesn't need to be yelled at for how she's feeling. You need to make allowances for each other when something traumatic happens. You're supposed to be like each other's family. I get it. This hurts to see it. It was hurting me to watch the three of you falling apart like this. I can't imagine how much worse it is to be going through it. But god damn it, just be gentle with yourselves. It takes a long time to get over things.
Pandora's fully turned away from Maze.
When something hurts you like that, especially when it's family, it stays forever. Before the conversation can continue. you feel the sort of the anti-magic field releasing and that well of arcane energy fill you up again.
Pandora straight to the bed. Goes to Anya first and like cups her face with her hands and casts Remove Curse.
You immediately see just wisps of black lifting off her wrist where the handprint was. And she said, she sits upright.
And says to her in Infernal, "You'll be alright. I'm sorry." And then moves to Lysander.
Mm-hmm. As you cast the next Remove Curse, and you're watching like wide-eyed. Lysander's like,
"You're gonna be okay. It's okay. You're gonna be okay."
Pandora. What happened?
Lysander, that wasn't me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'll explain sometime. And moves to Elishor
Mm-hmm.
and casts Remove Curse on him.
He groans and sits up slowly. It's like, what is happening? Where am I?
You're in the infirmary. You were attacked. But it's sorted now.
Thank you. Orion's like, good, well we should get out of here.
Elishor's daily affirmations. What's happening? Where am I?
What's going on?
Orion's response, "I need to leave."
Elishor's like, Arundel, come here. What are you doing here? He's like, I'm not gonna talk about it right now. I'll be outside. And he just walks out of the infirmary.
Same, Pandora's gone.
As Pandora goes to leave, you hear from behind you, from Anya, in common. Wait,
Remove Curse.
thank you.
You could just be common.
I remember now. Thank you.
She follows after Orion.
He stood outside like,
Just before we leave to follow Orion and Pandora out, just glad to see you're awake, sir, to Orion's dad. And then just, his name's Orion, by the way. So, you should probably try and call him that. Feel better?
he doesn't say anything to you, he just watches you as you go. Thanks for helping him, Pandora.
You want a drink?
Yeah, but that's something I need to do as soon as he's out of that bed.
Okay. Do you need anything?
Maybe just your being there?
Yeah, I can do that.
He's just gonna hug you.
She'll be really stiff in his arms, but reach your arms around him.
He clings onto Pandora, not like, probably for the first time in months she's felt this, but not like he's hugging her because he feels like she needs a hug. He's hugging her because he needs it. The four of you can go and spend the evening probably nursing a single drink for a while. And then, before the evening ends, Orion asks if you will meet him in the morning in the councillor's chambers.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks. I'll see you then.
In the night time after we leave the tavern and go back to our rooms, Icarus is going to go and knock on Pandora's room.
Okay.
Does she answer?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want you to speak, I just want you to listen for a minute. I miss you, Pandora. And I know that you're going through a lot of shit right now, and have been. But I don't feel like I know this person anymore, and that scares me. I want to be there for you so bad, but if you need me to not be, then that's what I'll do. But I miss you. I miss my best friend. Whatever you need. Space, time. I'm just gonna be here waiting. Close the door after myself as I leave.
She just sits at her desk with tears down her face.
You can rouse yourselves in the morning and come on down to the councillor's chambers as requested. Sort of not speaking of the tensions for now between the group.
Concentrate on other stuff.
You see down there the 4 remaining councillors, so Elishor, Obadiah, Florentine, and Aenwyn are sat at the table. And Orion tells you, as he meets you outside the doors, that Elion has been removed from his position of councillor with immediate effect. But that
Understandable. Have a nice day.
that they're not going to exile him from Arx Volatus. They will give him an opportunity to redeem himself
Yay.
whilst his uncle Galadir is awaiting a fair trial and expected that he will be exiled from the area.
Yeah.
Does Orion know what has happened to them since the curses were removed?
He tells you that the rot appears to be getting worse, but that Elion is being seen by Artemia, and they're seeing if there's anything they can offer him as an alternative essentially to cursing a person.
Yeah.
This is not sustainable.
No.
Cursing person.
Thanks for all coming down here.
No worries.
Pandora will take his wrist before they head in. Don't ever let them make you ashamed to be yourself.
I promise. I promise.
Because you are so worthy of love, Orion. So worthy of it. And if they can't see that, what kind of family are they?
Orion just turns around, kisses you on the cheek, says, "Thank you, I needed to hear that." And he turns around, he pushes the doors open, and you see also in there is his brother, Lorien, and his sister as well. And as Orion walks in the door, he's like, "Thank you for seeing us. I'm calling a revote on my father."
Oh, whoa! Oh, shit!
Alright.
Like, the whole room is stunned into silence as he stands there.
Because anyone in Arx Volatus could do that, right?
Any resident of Arx Volatus can do that. To which Elishor immediately brings up that point. Yes. "You don't live here, you can't call a revote on me."
He's your family.
That's not the rules. And from behind him, Lorien says, "Then I call a revote on you."
Oh, shit.
I
don't know
second
his-
it.
Thank you. I don't know his argument yet, but go on, Orion. Say whatever you need to say. Orion's like, I don't trust your judgment in charge of the Brotherhood anymore. After hearing Councillor Elion's case and what happened with his family and you refusing them aid, I think it's been far too long since anybody's questioned you. And she was like,
What? I never.
and Florentine's like, "It is the rules. If somebody calls it, then we hold it, Elishor." Ryan leans over and it's like, he hasn't been voted on in 50 years. So.
That was well long overdue.
That's all I wanted to say. So, it's time you put some real thought into your career, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
And start questioning your own judgment a little bit more. Because you made bad choices. And everything we saw yesterday was the result of them.
Bad choices with bad consequences. Unfortunately, that always comes back bite you in the ass.
Obadiah's like, okay, we will see to it that that happens very soon.
Obadiah like, we've already had a lot going on.
We've already lost one council member today.
Hell, why not two? Let's go for it. Let's make it a triple. I resign.
For the drama.
I do it for the drama.
I do declare.
Let's call it a hat trick.
Ella Shaw sat at the table, looking relatively shocked and appalled. Has no choice but to accept this. And he's like, understood. You're dismissed, Orion. Orion's like, good. Come on.
As we're leaving, I'll just lean to Orion and be like, technically I don't think he can dismiss you anymore legally.
All the shade of it all.
Pandora whispered him. Well then, that took a lot of guts.
Then it's just end of my tether.
Yeah.
Might be running out of time, definitely running out of patience.
Are you gonna be staying long?
I don't know. I mean, kind of hoping if I stay a little longer, Damen might show up, but
He will. I know he will.
yeah.
He made a promise, didn't he?
As you're walking out into the courtyard, finally, someone enters the front gates for the first time in a couple of days. You see a courier running in and speaking to a guard, and the guard looks around and then like points your direction, like to the group. And the courier runs over and pulls a letter out of a messenger bag. It's like, bit of a strange one, but I'm looking for a rabbit.
Yes, I can pass that on.
Quizzical look.
Hands over. Thank you very much.
That's alright.
And just turns around and just like looks down the path again. It's like,
Here you go. I'm gonna give this guy like a silver at least for delivering because holy hell. He's probably has to do laps for a week just before he can get in. I'll give him a silver.
Very good.
Thank you kindly.
No worries.
Heads back out of Arx Volatus, across the bridge towards the mountain path.
God, you just see a job and you're like, what? Couldn't be me.
Yeah, it couldn't be me.
Let's put that in the pocket. They have made no secret of the fact that they are keeping correspondence with Michio. I'm gonna head back to my room and check this over.
No worries.
Cool.
Catch you in a bit.
Have fun.
Maze, you head back to your room with the letter. I assume you open it up as soon as you're in private.
No, I'm at my desk and I've got all my stuff.
Ready to write a letter.
Ready to be pen pals.
I'm at my desk.
The letter from Michio reads, Dear Rabbit, I wish I could be writing back to you with better news.
Oh god. No! Fuck.
It would seem there is further trouble brewing here in Vishima. And we have not seen the back of Sato yet.
Fuck no.
The good news is that it is likely he's not running around the western marches, as we feared initially. There are signs of his presence here on Vishima. Our best guess is that he disguised himself among the sailors on our return journey and snuck back into our lands. People are still going missing or turning up dead, with far less care and precision than before. We will do what we can, but the pressure is undeniably mounting, and I am concerned I won't be able to prevent others from getting hurt before this is resolved. I am not what I used to be.
No! You're perfect! Michio, you're perfect! God damn!
I hope the sword is still serving you well. Michio.
Oh, fuck.
They are not going to write the happy response straight away like they thought they would. Oh god. If he just sits at the desk, like in utter shock. Just like, suddenly this huge weight on their shoulders again. And just sort of feels for Daichi like I have a promise to keep to you.
You do.
Haven't missed that.
They're gonna go to the window and open it and just look to the sky and just bow their head and pray like I don't know what you want from me. I don't know if you've chosen a path for me, but every time I've tried to talk to you, you've given me some sort of feeling. What am I supposed to do here? I'm supposed to go to the Infinite Isles with my friends, but this is my home. Please, help.
Make a perception check.
17.
You feel the sun on your face. You feel the urge to turn back to the room. Almost like you're feeling compelled to do so.
I turn around.
You see that the sunlight is coming in through both windows in this room and seems to be directly hitting the letter on the desk.
Thank you. But what about Icarus and Pandora and Damen?
You feel nothing else.
Okay. Okay. They start drafting a response.
You do. You see Alexandra coming out of the infirmary.
How's he looking?
Rough but better. He's healing up, and now he can receive magical healing properly. He's not looking like he's been pummeled by a car.
The guilt is crushing right now.
But he sort of sees the two of you and waves and is like, hey, wait up, will you?
How are you feeling?
I'll be fine. Anya, in the infirmary, she was asking after you.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go see her.
I'll tentatively follow, not sure if I should be or not.
You see her, she's still sat up in the infirmary bed now, sort of sectioned off into her own space again. She's like, hi.
An infernal or common?
Common.
Hi. How are you feeling?
Much better. I think you must have... I heard that we were cursed and that you removed it.
Yeah.
There's some powerful magic.
Just helping out.
I think, or at least they've explained to me, I must have had some sort of memory modification on me as well. That your magic removed.
Do you remember something?
It was between the two of you. I know who did this to me. And I know where he's going to be.
Who?
His name is Niklaus Mueller. And that is where we'll end tonight.
Oh my god! Short circuit. dial-up noise.
You good? You good, son?
B is Windows error noise right now.
Done.
Done!
Put it back.
Put it back in your mouth.
The backstory.
No, put her back.
What?
No, I can't find her memory again. Take it away.
I miss these guys.
Thank you guys very much for watching. Winds of Fortune will be back next week with a new episode, The Ailing of Eelmarsh.
Ew.
Eels.
We'll see you then. We love you. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
It's just really nice and warm to hold for a
Are
little
we
bit though.
fucking ready?
I'm enjoying the warmth, you fuck!
Hi everyone, it's Orion. Thank you once again for joining us on our adventures. Don't forget, you can support us at patreon.com/nyxrising or check out our Teespring store for merchandise of both shows. And special thank yous as always to our executive producers, Meghan Charles, Adira A, Emily Hogarth, Jameson M, Lissa, Katelyn Ferguson, Alexandra Johnson, Liam Moran, and Mason Scott. Until next time, never apologize for who you are, and we'll see you on Wednesday.